I'm gonna bet you didn't know these facts. Alice Cooper used to babysit Keanu Reeves. The word Riz was Oxford's word of the year for 2023, beating the words Swiftie, situationship, and de-influencing. Famous torrenting website The Pirate Bay tried to purchase an island in hopes of making it their own country with no copyright laws. In the 1990s, the US Air Force did research on creating a gay bomb, which is a non-lethal bomb containing very strong pheromones that would make the enemy's forces attracted to each other. The Filipino flag is flown with the red stripe up in times of war and the blue stripe up in times of peace. There is a rare type of tree called the dragon blood tree that contains red sap and appears to bleed when it's cut down. This 1953 painting sold at an auction for a whopping $43.8 million. Darth Vader is derived from Old Dutch meaning dark father. Rap God by Eminem packs 1,560 words into a 6-minute 4-second song, holding the world record for most words in a hit single. Schnapsity is the German word for a ridiculous idea that only sounds good when you're drunk. 12% of the world's total languages are found in Papua New Guinea, which has over 820 indigenous languages. There are more languages on this island than in any other country. 27,000 trees are cut down every day to supply the world's toilet paper. The US Senate has only been directly elected since 1913. A 22-year-old Canadian man took it upon himself to fill potholes with the sign, "I fill the potholes, pay me instead of your taxes." Drivers would give him cash, coffee, and joints for filling the potholes. You are less likely to die during an economic depression. This is mostly attributed to the cleaner air, reduced traffic, and fewer dollars spent on the vices like tobacco and alcohol. 90% of video game sales in the world are now digital. A December 2011 study revealed that around 92% of all baby changing stations in the United Kingdom had traces of cocaine on them. After Thomas Edison's declining health forced him into a wheelchair, his friend Henry Ford brought an extra wheelchair to his estate so that they could race them against each other. Around 35% of female prisoners in Saudi Arabia are still in prison because no male relative will come and collect them. A woman who successfully underwent a lung transplant went into anaphylactic shock after eating peanut butter. She learned that the 12-year-old who donated the lungs had a peanut allergy and had died from anaphylactic shock. If you publish a book in Norway, the government will buy 1,000 copies or even 1,500 if it's a children's book and distribute them to libraries through the country. Hitler, Stalin, and Mussolini were all nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize at one point in their lives. 23% of students at the Mississippi University for Women are men. A survey found that 56% of commercial pilots admitted to sleeping while flying, and 29% had woken up to find the other pilot asleep as well. James Buchanan is the only American president who was never married. A silent man in the UK repeatedly gets arrested for standing on certain roads to block traffic. He never speaks a word, not even to the court or his own lawyer. Every time he's released, he repeats the crime and remains completely silent. A bottle of Coke has a pH scale of 2.8 and could dissolve a nail in just 4 days. A Brussels airline flight to Vienna was aborted because the pilot was attacked in the cockpit. The attacker was a passenger's cat. A certain type of box jellyfish's venom will make you feel a strong sense of anxiety and sense of impending doom, possibly the thoughts of suicide. These symptoms can last up to 2 weeks. Women's voices have deepened by 23 hertz over the past 50 years. There is a giant statue of Jesus in Poland that serves as a Wi-Fi antenna. Some cities in the US used to have ugly laws, fining people $1 to $50 for their bad looks. The world's shortest escalator is located in Kawasaki, Japan. Russian soldiers were not always wearing socks until 2013. Play-Doh was originally sold and used as wallpaper cleaner. The world's oldest toy is thought to just be the stick. The longest nipple hair ever recorded was 17 centimeters long and belonged to a man in Italy. Until the early 19th century, Australia was best known as New Holland. The average person will spend a year of their life looking for misplaced items. It used to be common for men to wear high heels. The average American spends about 90% of their time indoors. Chewing gum is illegal in Singapore. Most people can hear the difference between hot and cold water when poured just by the a sound it makes. Honey doesn't spoil. A diamond can grow inside of another diamond. 28% of delivery drivers have taken food from a customer's order. Deceased human bodies can be turned into electricity. The office chair with wheels was invented by Charles Darwin. Boanthropy is the physical disorder of someone who believes that they are a cow. Colgate used to sell candles. Blood makes a loop around your body 1,500 times a day. You are 14% more likely to die on your birthday than any other day of the year. There is a city called Batman in Turkey. The very first game of basketball was played with a football. 3:44 a.m. is the most common time to wake up in the middle of the night. Tim Horton died after crashing his car driving drunk and high. A frown means something different to many people around the world. A study at Florida State University discovered that playing Portal 2 is better for your brain than brain training games like Lumosity. A woman faked her entire tragedy and the loss of her husband during the 9/11 attacks, and then became the president of the support network in New York. According to scientists, the weight of the average cumulus cloud is over 1 million pounds. Allodoxophobia is the fear of opinions. Arizona driver's licenses don't expire at all until you're 65. You then have to renew them in person every 5 years. Bill Gates' house was designed using a Mac. If you wake up during surgery, you most likely won't be able to tell anyone. During the Aztec reign, a slave could be bought for 100 cocoa beans. 8 of the 10 largest statues in the world are of Buddha. If you point your car keys to your head, it increases the remote's signal range. All the fluids in your head act as a fantastic conductor, allowing you to extend the remote's range by a few car lengths. If your throat tickles, scratching your ear can make it go away. Q-tips were invented in 1923, originally called baby gays, then Q-tip baby gays, then finally just Q-tips. The Q stands for quality. When Weird Al was developing The Weird Al Show, Seth MacFarlane pitched him an animated segment, which Al didn't end up going with. The segment was later developed into Family Guy. Bob Marley's last words were, "Money can't buy life." If you want to continue to learn more interesting facts, click on the screen for the next video.